Emily Harper stood on the edge of the Aurora Bridge in Seattle, the wind whipping her hair like it was trying to pull her over the railing. Below, the dark waters of Lake Union swirled, whispering promises of an end to the constant ache in her chest. At 28, she'd lost count of the night's anxiety had won, but tonight felt final, until her trembling hand brushed something taped to the cold metal. A plain envelope with words that would change everything. She ripped it open, rain smudging the ink. If you're here because the pain feels too heavy to carry one more step, remember this. You've already survived storms no one else sees. Turn around. The world isn't done with you yet. Emily froze. Those were her words. Her letter. Somehow it had come back to her. But let's rewind. This story doesn't start on that bridge. It starts in a cramped one-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill, where Emily spent most days hunched over her laptop, chasing freelance writing gigs that barely paid the rent. Seattle's endless gray skies mirrored her mood, drizzle turning to downpour, just like her thoughts. She was the kind of girl who'd grown up in a small Midwest town, dreaming of the big city, but reality hit hard. Student loans, failed relationships, and an anxiety disorder that turned every what-if into a catastrophe. Emily's days blurred together. Mornings started with black coffee from her Keurig, scrolling LinkedIn for jobs while her heart raced for no reason. Afternoons were spent pitching articles to outlets like BuzzFeed or The Atlantic, pieces on everything from remote work burnout to the best hiking spots in the Cascades. Evenings? That's when the panic set in. Alone on her IKEA couch, binge-watching Netflix shows like The Office to drown out the voice in her head. You're not good enough. No one cares about your words. Her therapist, Dr. Lisa Chun, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s with an office overlooking Pike Place Market, called it generalized anxiety disorder. It's like your brain's wired for worst-case scenarios, Dr. Chun said during their Zoom sessions. We can manage it with meds and coping strategies. Emily nodded, popped her Lexapro and tried mindfulness apps. But nothing stuck until one rainy Tuesday in October. She'd just gotten a rejection email from a magazine editor. Your piece on urban loneliness is thoughtful, but we're looking for something more upbeat. The words stung like a slap. Her chest tightened, breaths coming short and sharp. Panic attack incoming. Instead of curling up, she grabbed a notebook, her old faithful from college days at the University of Washington, and started scribbling. Not an article. Not a journal entry. A letter. Dear stranger. If life feels like it's piling on too much right now, like every day is a battle you're losing, I get it. But here's the thing, you've made it this far. That resilience? It's real. Don't give up on the person who's fought through all the crap. One day at a time. You're stronger than you know. She sealed it in an envelope, no name, no address. On her way to grab takeout from the Thai place down the block, she slipped it into a random mailbox outside a Starbucks. Felt stupid, impulsive. But as she walked away, the tightness in her chest eased just a little. That was the first one. Emily didn't plan to make it a habit. But the next week, after a bad date with a guy named Ryan, a software engineer from Microsoft who ghosted her mid-conversation, she wrote another. Left it tucked into a bench at Volunteer Park during her lunch break. Then another after a fight with her mom over the phone. Why don't you just come home to Ohio? Seattle's making you miserable. That one went into a library book at the Seattle Central Library, sandwiched between pages of a self-help bestseller. It became her ritual. Right during the low moments, leave them in everyday spots. Under a napkin dispenser at a diner, inside a coat pocket at Goodwill, wedged in a bike rack near the Space Needle. In a city like Seattle where people hustled through tech jobs at Amazon or Boeing, grabbed craft beers at breweries, or hiked Mount Rainier on weekends, everyone seemed connected yet so alone. Emily's letters were her way of bridging that gap, even if anonymously. She never expected them to matter. Until they did. Michael Carter was 35, a construction foreman in Tacoma, about 30 miles south. Married to Sarah, father to 2 kids under 10. But the pandemic had wrecked his industry, layoffs then rehires at half pay. Bills stacked up. Arguments with Sarah turned ugly. One night after she screamed, "We can't keep living like this," he drove to the Narrows Bridge, parked and walked to the edge. The drop was 200 feet. Easy. As he gripped the railing, his boot kicked something, a white envelope half stuck under a grate. He picked it up, figuring it was trash. Inside, when the weight of providing for your family feels like it's crushing you, remember they're not looking for perfection. They're looking for you. Showing up even broken is enough. Talk to someone. Fight for one more day. Michael sat on the curb, rereading it until his phone buzzed. Sarah calling. "Where are you?" she asked, voice cracking. He drove home. The next day he called a hotline, got into couples counseling. They sold the house, moved to a smaller place, started over. Michael kept the letter in his wallet, a reminder. Emily kept writing, oblivious. Jason Miller, 22, a barista at a downtown Starbucks, found one in the tip jar during a slow shift. Jason had come out to his conservative parents in Idaho 6 months earlier. They cut him off. Living in a shared house with 4 roommates, he battled depression, scrolling Grindr for connections that left him emptier. One bad hookup led to thoughts of ending it, pills in his bathroom cabinet. The letter said, "Coming out in a world that doesn't always understand takes guts. If rejection has you questioning your worth, know this. Your truth is your power. There are people who see you, who celebrate you. Reach out, build the family you deserve." Jason texted a friend from his LGBTQ+ support group at the university. They met for coffee. He started volunteering at the Seattle Pride Center. Life didn't flip overnight, but the fog lifted, one shift at a time. Sarah Thompson, 42, a marketing exec at a tech startup in Bellevue, discovered hers in her gym locker at the YMCA. High-powered job, but behind the PowerPoint presentations and team happy hours, she was unraveling. Breast cancer diagnosis stage 2. Chemo loomed. Her husband, Tom, tried to be strong, but she saw the fear in his eyes. One night, alone in the bathroom, she stared at the razor, wondering if skipping the fight would be kinder. The envelope was tucked into her towel. The body betrays us sometimes, but your spirit? That's unbreakable. If illness has you scared, lean on the love around you. Fight like hell, not for them but for the you that still has dreams. One treatment, one day. You've got this. Sarah showed it to Tom that night. They cried together, then planned. Meals prepped, friends rallied. She rang the bell after her last chemo, the letter framed in their kitchen. Emily's letter spread quietly, like ripples in Puget Sound. She wrote about American grit, the pioneer spirit in a modern world, referencing things like Thanksgiving family tensions or 4th of July fireworks as metaphors for inner explosions. Names like Harper, Carter, Miller, Thompson, everyday folks you'd meet at a backyard barbecue or a little league game. But Emily's own life wasn't improving. Freelance gigs dried up. Her bank account dipped below $500. Friends like her roommate, Katie Evans, a graphic designer with a pixie cut and endless optimism, tried to help. "Come out with us tonight," Katie would say, dragging her to trivia at a bar in Ballard. "Meet someone, Em. Or at least get a free beer." Emily smiled, went sometimes. But inside, the anxiety gnawed. A panic attack hit during one outing, heart pounding, room spinning. She excused herself, wrote a letter in the bathroom stall, left it on the bar. When social scenes feel like minefields, it's okay to step back. But don't isolate forever. Connection heals. Months passed. Winter hit hard, short days, SAD kicking in. Emily stopped pitching articles, spent days in bed scrolling TikTok, envying influencers with perfect lives. Her mom called. "Honey, are you okay? You sound distant." Emily lied. "Just busy, Mom." One February evening, after a brutal session with Dr. Chan, "You're avoiding Emily. The letters are great, but you need to apply that kindness to yourself." She spiraled. Alone, rain pounding the window, she grabbed the pill bottle. Overdose thoughts crept in. She wrote one last letter, sealed it, and headed out, ending up at Green Lake Park. Left it on a bench. Pain passes. Hold on. That letter found its way to Laura Jenkins, a 19-year-old college student at Seattle U, dealing with assault trauma. It saved her from a dark night. Laura shared it on Reddit's r/Seattle subreddit. "Found this. Stopped me. Anyone else?" The post blew up. People commented, "I got one too, saved my marriage. Mine was in a park. Miracle." A local blogger picked it up, calling them Seattle's guardian angels. Emily saw the article while doom-scrolling, heart-stopping. Her words quoted verbatim. But recognition didn't help. If anything, it amplified her imposter syndrome. "They think it's profound. But I'm a mess." The anxiety peaked. One stormy night, she walked to the Aurora Bridge. Same spot she'd imagined in her nightmares. The wind howled. Water churned. She climbed the railing, tears streaming. Then the envelope. Her own words, placed there by Michael Carter, who'd started redistributing copies after his save. He'd formed a group. Anonymous letter droppers inspired by his. Emily read it, collapsed sobbing. The words she'd written for others finally sank in for her. She stepped back, called Katie. "I need help. Now." Katie rushed over, held her through the night. The next day, Emily checked into a clinic for intensive therapy. Meds adjusted, group sessions started. She revealed herself in a blog post. "I'm the letter writer. And I needed saving too." The story went viral. YouTube channels narrated it. Emotional voiceovers with soft music, stock footage of rainy Seattle. Comments flooded. "This hit home, I've been there. Sharing with my sister." Sub for more stories like this. Emily healed slowly. Started a podcast, Letters from the Edge, interviewing recipients. Michael appeared first. "Your words pulled me back." Jason shared his coming out journey. Sarah talks survivorship. Relationships mended. Dates with a kind guy named Alex, a teacher who understood anxiety. Family visits from Ohio. Work picked up. A book deal for her letters collection. Years later, standing at a park bench dedication. Guardian Letters Memorial. Emily placed a new envelope. Inside, "We've all been strangers to ourselves. Be kind. Saves lives." The crowd applauded. But for Emily, it was the quiet moments that mattered. The sun breaking through clouds, a deep breath without fear. She'd saved dozens, maybe hundreds. But the biggest save? Her own.